What's up, guys? Let me fix this. Hold on. Yes, right there. What's up, guys? My name is Marco. I am I'm an American citizen. So let me see. Marta Peña, what's up? Christine, what's up? Rob, what's up? Jose, hey, so great to see you, Jose. I haven't spoken to you for a while, but thank you for sending me that La Reflexión del Día. Hey, Jennifer, I saw you did a video yesterday. Johnny, Tommy, what's up? What's up, brother? Just defending the American dream. Hey, Paloma. Dana, what's up? Good afternoon. Estela from Houston. Same here, Tommy. You the man, bro. You the man. Yeah. I haven't actually got my flight yet, but I'm getting together with David, a bunch of the guys that are coming from this side, so we can go there at the same time. That's gonna be a great event, man. That's looking forward to meeting you too. Nikki, oh Nick, Ryan, what's up? Daryl, Alexa. So what's up? What's up? Paloma, I can't invite you. Can you switch your phone or? So, guys, I have Paloma here with me today, and she is all the way in Tijuana. She's in Mexico right now. And so we're going to talk about the immigration. Oh, you just did? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Hola, chica.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Paloma.
Hold on, let me turn the volume because I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of loud. It's kind of soft. Like, I don't know. I can barely hear you. I should have my headphones. I don't. I'm sorry.
You know, everybody was complaining about not hearing me earlier.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. You know what? I could hear you when you were doing the video by yourself, but now that I'm on, I can barely hear you. So I had no problem before. Hi, Daniel.
It's your phone then.
No, I can hear you a little bit better now. A little bit.
Okay. So you're gonna go to MOAR, right?
Yes, but here's what I'm doing. I always celebrate Mexico's Independence Weekend in Vegas. It's a very Mexican thing to do. You froze. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So every year for the past 10 years, I've celebrated Mexico's Independence Day in Las Vegas because it's one of the safest and nicest places to celebrate Mexico's independence, believe it or not. You know, it's safe, it's nice, they do a lot of events. And I mean, you know how very Mexican I am. So it's very, like, it's a tradition for us to celebrate in Vegas, which is on the 15th. So I think I'm going to have to fly out that same night to Baltimore to make it to MOAR the next day. So, but yeah, I'm going to go. I'll sleep on the plane. I'll be okay.
You're something else, Paloma.
I'll sleep on the plane. I'll be fine. I promise you.
You were in Vegas yesterday. Now you're in Tijuana. Then you're in Mexico.
I'm flying to Mexico City on Tuesday.
So, how is Mexico reacting to this merit-based proposal, this bill?
Well, believe it or not, President Trump's support approval rating in Mexico is going up. I'll tell you a quick story. Last week, I ran into a friend that deleted me from Facebook. And I realized that he deleted me from Facebook, but I didn't know why. I don't really have a lot of people who delete me, but I noticed I tried to tag him on something, on a video from like 6 months ago, and he was gone. And I ran into him, and he goes, he didn't say anything about me, about deleting me, but he asked me, he goes, can I ask you why you support Donald Trump? He goes, I just need to understand. I just want to know. I want to understand why you support him. He goes, because from my point of view, he's so racist and all this stuff, right? He goes, but I know you're a good person. So if you weren't a good person, you wouldn't support him. And I know you love Mexico because you're here. So it's not like you're against the country. You're not against Mexico. So I spent about 10 minutes, Marco. That's all it took. About 5 to 10 minutes explaining why, and explaining exactly like the corruption in Washington, the corruption in the system, and what was happening to America turning into a third world country, and people taking advantage of it. And if, you know, somebody like President Trump didn't do anything, it was going to turn into a place like Mexico. And after that, he was like, oh my God, like I totally changed his perception of President Trump. You understand? Like he had this like bad idea of him, of me, of everything. And in 5 to 10 minutes, I changed everything. So a lot of people in Mexico are starting to react that way. They're starting to see that he's not a bad person, that he's not a racist, that he's not going to destroy Mexico like they told us back, you know, a year ago. Oh, if Donald Trump wins Mexico, it's going to be war between Mexico and the U.S., and it's going to be the end of Mexico, and he's going to come in here and take over our country. All this stuff, like they were putting, you know, weird ideas in people's heads. And so now with this immigration, merit-based immigration thing, I think a lot of people are going to hate it because I've been seeing for years, and this is what I've been talking about for the past 2 days. I personally know, Marco, people that take advantage of the system and like in such an obvious, awful way. They give him a visa, they give him a tourist visa, and they feel recently, it didn't used to be like this, that with that visa they could do anything they want, anything. Like it just, you know, to them it's not even a tourist visa anymore. Entering the country automatically means you could do whatever you want, and that's not what these visas are intended for. These visas are intended so that, you know, you get your visa, you go on vacation, you go shopping, you go to the mall, you go to Disneyland, you know, whatever, Miami, Dallas, Dallas, Miami, California are the most popular places, New York. And a lot of these people, Marco, are staying. They're staying here. And as soon as they get across the border, they get a place to live. They start having kids. They go and get jobs, you know, because why not? Illegals do it. They can do it too. So, you know, the only difference between them and an illegal is that they don't have to cross the border. They don't have to run across the border. They don't have to swim across the border. You know, they don't have to go in somebody's trunk. But just because they're doing it with a tourist visa in their hand doesn't mean they can stay in America and do whatever they want and take advantage of the country, because that's where the population control problem is coming from. You understand? Like, it's all about respect that people have lost for America. People have no respect anymore. Like, I've been seeing it for years. 4 years ago, and I talked about this on my videos yesterday. 4 years ago, I reported a woman who lived in Miami for years, making fun of the U.S. government, making fun of the Mexican government, because she makes fun of them too, making fun of everybody. Like, they, it's becoming like one country for them. There's no division, there's no borders, there's no respect, like there used to be. I remember when I was young, we used to travel to California all the time, like once a year, twice a year. And as soon as we crossed the border, we had to go and apply. We have to reapply for a permit. So we had to provide, and back then we had visas that were on our passport. I remember they were called like permanent visas. They would just do a stamp. My passport, I was like really young. I was a baby, because that's when I first got my passport. And I had a visa that it didn't have an expiration date, indefinida. That's what they used to call it, indefinida. So, but even so, you still had to apply for a permit. You had to tell them where you were going, where you were going, where you were going to stay, who you were going to stay with, names, phone numbers, purpose of the trip, how long you were going to stay, like everything, every detailed information. And before you exited the United States, you had to make sure you gave that permit back. And if you were flying out of, or you were flying, they'd have a little box at the airport, and you have to put your permit in there to make sure to let INS know that you were leaving the country. And we, it's been lost for the past, I don't know, 20 years. We don't even have that anymore. People come in, they do whatever they want, and it's not just the illegals. And people think, oh, it's just illegal immigration. No, legal immigration is such a big problem, especially, I don't know from other countries, but I know that legal immigration here from Mexico, it's a big problem. So,
I was talking to one of my critics in Mexico, and he told me that Donald Trump, it's going to be the cause of the second Mexican independence.
Yeah. Yep.
So Donald Trump is making Mexico great again.
I agree, 100%.
And all these people are going to, if he wants people that know English, that have a something to contribute, I think people are going to take school more seriously in Mexico, because a lot of kids stop going to school when they're out of high school,
Yeah.
So I think that's going to motivate Mexican citizens to study more if they want to be part of this country.
Yeah, not only that, but it's also about respect, Marco. They have no respect anymore. I'm telling you, like, between what's happened with the borders over the past 10 years, between, the technology, because technology is good and bad. A lot of Mexican kids now speak English. They watch videos all day long, like YouTube and channels, whatever, So they speak English now. They didn't used to speak English 10 years ago. They, one of my employees that I just hired, and then I had to fire her because, but whatever. Then I had to fire her. But anyway, so 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, if I said, like squirt, they'd be like, what? Like every little word was like a big deal to them. This employee that I just hired 6 months ago, she's 19. She speaks English, Marco. She didn't even go to school to speak English. This is all that they're getting it through Facebook, through YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram. They're following people like the Kardashians. So these people are starting to speak English. So I don't think the language part is such a big part, like such a big deal. But what it is, though, what I have noticed is that because they think they speak English, they feel like they're American, and they're not American, because there's a big difference, huge difference between speaking English and being American. And that's the one part that people don't get, and it's a big difference between being in the U.S., living in the U.S., working in the U.S., you know, making a life in the U.S. and understanding the American culture. And this is what we've been talking about when it comes to constitutional sound bites with David Stokas. Like, people don't have any idea of what America means, what being an American means, what the American culture means, what the Declaration of Independence, what the Bill of Rights, what, you know, they have no idea about any of it. So you know, the naturalization test that I took when I became a citizen, it was so easy, Marco. I'm sure you took it too. It was so easy. It's so easy. Like, they used to make it so easy for anyone to just come into the States and feel like they're an American. And so eventually what's going to happen is the American culture is we're going to lose that. We're going to lose America because people don't even understand what it's about. They think it's just like a playground, you know, they have no idea. It's just a place for them to make money, live a better life, send the money back to their country, send it back to Mexico, build a house in Mexico. And that's what they think America is. And it's not. You know, there's the reason why America works, the reason why America has always been such an amazing, great country is because of the way it was founded, because of the people who founded it. So in order to understand how the country works, we have to understand all that. And the government was making it so easy for anyone to just come in. And you know what, getting a visa is not so easy if you're Mexican. I don't know how it is for other countries, but if you're Mexican, it's not so easy. It's not. Recently, it's been more like if you attend a good university, if you have money in the bank, whatever, they'll just give it to you. But even those people, I talked about a woman yesterday. I gave an example of a woman. She had a good life in Mexico. She was a bank broker, and she stole through fraud. Her and 3 other people, they stole a lot of money from one of my friends. They were pretending they were in New York, that they worked for Mellon Bank in New York, and they were actually running an operation out of Mexico City. So for about a year and a half, they were talking to my friend about investing and all this stuff, whatever. Suddenly, he sold some land to Emilio Azcárraga, you know, the owner of Televisa, right? So he sold the back of his house in Valle de Bravo. He sold it to Emilio Azcárraga for $11 million. So he asked Emilio Azcárraga to wire the money from Mexico City to New York, to this Mellon Bank in New York. Suddenly the money disappeared. But Azcárraga did what he was supposed to do. They're good friends, whatever. The money disappeared, Marco. This woman and this other guy and a bunch of people, like 3 or 4 people, they literally embezzled his $11 million. Anyway, so that woman, before she got caught, she had a tourist visa. What she did is she moved with her tourist visa to Arizona. Okay, so now she lives in Arizona. Here you have a criminal, whether it's white collar, blue collar, whatever. She's a criminal who stole money from a guy in Mexico and is now living with a tourist visa in Arizona, and she has children, and she's living off the American people because she's not working illegally. You know, she's probably had kids and went and asked for welfare and getting a couple $1,000s a month, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to another friend of mine who says that he's from El Salvador and he knows somebody that has killed people in El Salvador, you know, and not just killing, beheading them. I mean, really bad stuff. And they come here and they just live inside. So actually they hide here. This country protects these people that are doing fraud in Mexico or other countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, imagine, instead of being thrown in prison, which is where she needed to be in Mexico, she's hiding. She's using the U.S., to protect her with a tourist visa. She has no business in this country as a freaking criminal, you know? And I'll give you another example too. 2 years ago, I reported a woman. She's a coyote, a pollera. She lives here in Tijuana. She back then she was 29, so she's about 31 right now. She is they call her a guide. So she has a whole operation going on in Zona Norte here in Tijuana. They steal documents like passports, green cards, birth certificates from people, and they have a whole operation at some hotel in downtown Tijuana. And what they do is they match people to like the passports. You know, they have a whole room with like all these documents, and then they'll charge people $4,000. And she's a guide. What she does is she walks about 3 people. They do it by foot. She walks about 3 people behind whoever is she's guiding, because she's a guide. And if they go through, then that's fine. Then she goes after them, and they put them in a truck and they drive them to Riverside or LA or something. They take them to a different place. But anyway, so 2 years ago, I reported her at the border. It was September 10th when I reported her. I gave them her name. I gave them her date of, like, every information that I had of her. They actually located her. But 2 days after I reported her, she sent me, and I'm going to screenshot it to you and send it to you. She sent me an Facebook message saying, I know you reported me at the border, and I'm going to kill you. People at the border told her that a woman in a white my name, and that I had a white Nissan report. She goes, I know what kind of car you drive. She goes, you drive a white Nissan. So people at the border told her that I reported her. This is how big this stuff is in the government, not just with the criminals. So, you know, last night I was driving back from Vegas, just from maybe 40 miles to the border, down to the border, those last 40 miles, I saw 4 border patrols. You never see that before. So what that means is that for the first time in a long time, they're actually doing their job. I was like, oh shit, cops. I thought it was cops. You know, because you see cops. But we saw 4 border patrols. That's weird. We never see that before, you know?
Something that the media did not talk a lot about, but I want to talk about it. Those people that died, the 9 people that died in that truck.
Yeah.
That's happened before. You know, it seems that they're exposing this, but I think that's not fair to these people. I mean, these people are being killed. So how's Mexico feeling about that? What are they gonna do? Are they helping to fix this, or?
Oh, it's a really awful thing. I actually did I'll send it to you. I was in a movie 2 years ago about it. I did a movie the exact same thing. A director in Palos Verdes, actually, we shot a movie about what happens to these people of when they cross their border and they get stuck in a truck. I'll send you the images of the movie that I did. I think everybody, the people supposedly are just looking for a better life, but I also think the real criminals are who are crossing. Everybody's doing something wrong, of course, but I'm saying, like, how do you leave 100 and something people in a truck in Texas? I lived in Texas at 120-degree weather, 110-degree weather, without air conditioning. Like, you know, of course they're gonna die within an hour, within 40 minutes. So Mexico, you know, when it comes to that, Mexico's not going to do anything about it. They don't really care about the people. If anything, they're just going to push illegal immigration more. Right now, you know, I'm in Tijuana, and you know, that's real Mexico.
But Paloma, what about this guy? Because this guy was American, the driver. So, yeah. So that means that these cartels, they're all, it's not just one-sided. I mean, there is American people that are accomplices on this.
Marco, do you think those buses get through the border just because? No, there's people working within ICE, within Border Patrol. These buses, they're not sneaking them through. Like, these people, like, some of them run across and then they pick them up. Yeah. But a lot of these people, you know what happened to the Pepe Aguilar's son?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yes.
He had been doing that for years. The only thing is that something went wrong for him. He had been doing that for years. Like, they have people that work at the border for them. They're not just taking a chance. They understand? Like, and then, like, oh, you got caught. Like, you think he'd be that stupid? You know, he's super high profile. He has money. He's not going to be that stupid. The thing is that something, for some reason, went wrong for him. I'm telling you, the woman that I reported, she had people within ICE working for her, informing her. So it's the cartels, it's ICE, it's the drivers, it's the people that are organizing everything working together. And I hope that's what President Trump right now is cracking down on. I honestly, like, I lived in Laredo, Texas for about 2 years. I've lived everywhere. I lived in Laredo, Texas. In Laredo, Texas, oh shit, there's so much going on, Marco, like you have no idea. You know what you see in the movies and stuff, and you think, oh, it's just the movies? No, you are a part of it when you're in Laredo, Texas. It's dangerous. My car was taken by the Zetas. My car was actually taken by the Zetas. They're like, get out of your car, we're taking your car. I had a Land Rover back then. They liked my car, so they took my car. The Zetas took my car. So, you know, I think that Mexican government is not going to do anything about it. Mexican government is not going to do anything. They're not. They really don't care. They're just going to stay out of it because they can't even do anything against their own cartels. You really think they're going to do anything about the cartels being part of, you know, this crime that's going on and people dying and all that stuff? They're not going to do anything about it. But what I do think is that now that it's so well known and it's so out there, I think President Trump is going to have people on this side of the border, not just the American side, you know, and have more vigilance also within the border, like at the crossing, at the actual crossing, not just like out on the field, like not just out, you know, like at the offices, at the actual border, at the actual like, you know, where people cross, because a lot of corruption has been going on there for years. Like, imagine me getting a death threat from the person who I reported because they told her. Like, that's corruption at its best. Like, you know, it doesn't get any worse than that.
You know, we have Raymond Herrera here, which is Robert's Herrera dad. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
But he is my hero.
You're not gonna get a reaction out of me. You're not going to.
Well, no. That's actually, they were joking about it. I don't know if you know, but Raymond, he stopped the buses that were, you don't remember when the kids were coming in buses full of kids, camiones llenos de niños?
Okay.
He was at the Murrieta bridge, and so he's been helping with the immigration problem for a long time. But the Mexican government is responsible for this. I mean, any other country in the world, if you bring 11 million people of your citizens, it's an act of war. Mexico should pay for the wall. You know, when I have insurance here in my house, the pipes broke, so the water messed up my house, so the insurance paid for it, right? So if these people are bringing here and causing damage, the Mexican government should pay for it.
Yeah. Marco, you know what? Okay, you know what you were saying about President Trump being responsible for Mexico's second independence?
Mm-hmm.
You're right, because Mexico doesn't even take care of their own people. Like, imagine if they can't take care of their own people here in the country. You think they're going to take care of the people when they're passed on to another country, passed on to somebody else? But here's what's going on, though. Just the way I talked to that guy that I mentioned earlier, and I changed his mind completely, because he's actually a Policía Federal. So he's not dumb, you know? But it was funny because we used to be really good friends, and then he blocked me from he deleted me from Facebook, and then I run into him, and I happened to ride the bus with him for 3 hours. So we were like, he's like, okay, just explain to me about Trump. Within 10 minutes, we were best friends again. That's it. Like, and he's a Policía Federal, you know? And he even told me, he was like, he told me that day, he goes, because we were going into a kind of dangerous area of Mexico City. He goes, do you have your gun? And I was like, are you serious? Are you telling me this right now? You're a freaking Policía Federal, and you're asking me if I have my gun, like it's no big deal. I was like, no, I actually don't have my gun. I'm like, why should I? He goes, yes, you should always have your gun. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? You're a freaking Federal. Like, he wasn't dressed that day. He was off duty, but like he drives like the big Federal, you know, and everything. He's like, always have your gun, girl. Like, this is how people are starting to think in Mexico because of Trump. You know, they're starting to say, you know what, we're going to stand up against politicians, we're going to stand up against corruption, we're going to stand up against so much abuse of our own people. Like, everybody's starting to know who Azcárraga, who is he's like the main, you know, one of the main movers in Mexico. Everybody knows who Azcárraga works for. AMLO works for Azcárraga. You know, you didn't know this. And the reason how I know is because I'm telling you, my friend, the one that sold the land to Azcárraga, he's personal friends with, I mean, they're just friends, but whatever, but he knows what's going on, you know? He's like, AMLO is at Televisa like twice a week having meetings. The hell's he doing at Televisa, you know?
Well, you know, I told you before that I actually like López Obrador.
Yeah.
But I am worried that if López Obrador wins, that's not going to be good for the United States because he's so left. He's a socialist.
He's not going to win. He's not running anymore. He's done. He's never going to run again.
So who is the one that's ahead of the game there in Mexico? Who's gonna?
Well, right now we're not having. I mean, the PRI right now is, you know, El PRI is what has control of basically everything. So we just had the elections of the state of Mexico. I told you this, and they were celebrating their victory 3 days before the elections. Like, they had a huge party saying victory party 3 days before the elections.
Hold on. So Raymond Herrera says that the oppression and repression of the Mexican people must end, that is the solution to both countries.
Yeah.
So Mexican people need to wake up and they need to make Mexico great again. Maybe you should run for something in Mexico, Paloma.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm telling you, like, I'm starting to build something, Marco, where, and then that's why I love things changing so much. You know, before, if you gave your point of view about something, people were afraid of you because because you were different. People would like automatically like pull away from you, turn their back on you, and it's changing because of President Trump. I made it so well known. I mean,
She just froze. She got disconnected. So I'll bring her back in a minute here. So you know what, Raymond? There's a chance I can bring you up. Let's see. I'm inviting Raymond. See if he can come up. Raymond, if you accept your invitation, you can come up and talk to me. Give me a second, Paloma. Okay, I'll try you back, Raymond, in a minute. Okay. I was trying to see. Last time I tried to get Raymond to come up, but we couldn't because his phone didn't work. But this time it seems that's gonna work. So Mexico's waking up. That's what you're saying. People are
Hi, Robert.
Trump is making.
Thank you so much, Robert. Robert Romero from Texas.
Oh, okay. So Mexico's waking up. Donald Trump is helping Mexico.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So what I was saying before I got bumped off was that people used to think, they used to call me loca, payasa. I am a little crazy. Loca, payasa, estúpida, ridícula for supporting Donald Trump. So basically, crazy, clown, all this stuff. But I never backed down since the beginning. You know this. You know that you know how passionate I was the whole campaign. But since the beginning, I kept putting it out there, especially in this small town, because in the small town where I'm at is a very powerful area of Mexico, Marco. Every politician, this is why Duarte, you know who Duarte is? Duarte.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that Duarte, the way he really actually got caught was by his house in Valle de Bravo. That's how he got caught. Because it's like a big thing to have a house in Valle de Bravo. So what that means is that everybody in Valle de Bravo kind of knows each other. So I made it very well known in this small town that I support President Trump since the beginning, because I knew I knew the reach that it could have. And people, you have no idea how much abuse I took. But basically what happens now, after everything that happened, I mean, yeah, I went through a lot during the election. I got, I lost employees. They scratched my car, all kinds of different things. But I didn't care about any of that. But what I'm saying is that now that he won and that they saw everything the way it's happened, one of the local pages that has because it was deleted because it talks against politicians. They, when we went to inauguration, they grabbed my picture from my page and they said, nuestra paisana está en la inauguración del presidente Donald J. Trump. I was like, oh my God, like they're bragging about me being there. Like, wow, like it makes my skin crawl. Like seriously, because what that means, Marco, is that people are starting to see that we're right. We're right. Like, no somos payasos, no somos estúpidos, no somos locos. We are fighting. And what I always tell people in Mexico is that if we keep fighting, we're gonna get what we want. It may not be in the next 2 years, it may not be in the next 4 years, but you know what? We are the young generation. We have people in 25, 26, 27, that we have all this technology, we have everything Americans have always had, we have it too, So, I did not sleep. I just drove in from Vegas and I don't want to take my sunglasses off.
It's okay. Hey, let me tell you something that I don't know if you know, but it's something you work very hard for. Did you know that Maria Elena Salinas, it's announced that she's gonna leave Univision?
No, I didn't know. I don't really follow Univision.
I posted on your page yesterday.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it.
So Univision it's breaking. I mean, that's a sign. She was 36 years with Univision.
Yeah.
That is great. That is great for us.
Yeah. Well, I've been, that I always talk about this. I'm very, very passionate about Univision Televisa, that whole cartel, the Mexican Washington Univision Televisa cartel. That's what I call it, because this is basically their ultimate plan. And I always say this, their ultimate plan, Azcárraga's ultimate plan, Azcárraga and Pepe Baston. Pepe Baston is the guy, the VP of Televisa, who is Latin America's biggest network. He's married to Eva Longoria. The only reason why he really started getting more and more and more involved with Eva Longoria is because he saw how close she was to the Democrats. Like, she was inviting him to the White House for dinner. Okay, she's been involved with the Democrats for a while, since Obama and everything else. But Obama actually told Pepe Baston back like 4 years ago, when are you going to marry this girl? So at this point, they see her as an asset, because that as a Hispanic, as a Latina actress in Hollywood, she's probably one of the most powerful ones. She really is. She's one of the most powerful ones. So she's using her voice to help her own personal interest, which is now her husband. Because her husband is the VP, the vice president of Televisa. So, when you see her there, you see her out there campaigning and, my family didn't cross the border crossed us, and my mom, all the shit that she went and set up on the DNC stage about, Donald Trump, he's the most evil man in the world, and this man, the crying election day, is because she's going to lose millions and millions and millions of dollars. Her husband is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars to Donald Trump. It's not because she cares about Americans. It's not because she cares about, Hispanics in the U.S. It's not because she cares about her mom and her disabled sister. She's such a hypocrite, and it's all, they want to take control. Right now, we have 60 million Hispanics in the U.S., Marco. But you know what? If it kept growing the way it's been growing for the past 20 years, in 10 years, we were going to be up to 120 million. Okay, easily. We're gonna double that. So what's going to happen? So you have 120 million people, part of the Hispanic population in the U.S., and who controls those people? Univision, Telemundo, and who controls Univision if Televisa buys it? Azcárraga controls con El Chapulín Colorado, con Teresa, Rosa Salvaje, the Mexican mind where they keep people entertained, 4 years ago, we had this, oh my God, it was this huge deal, la influenza. I don't know if you remember that. Influenza in Mexico.
Porcina.
It was the only reason why they did all that was so they could sell Banamex to a foreign company. Banamex is el Banco Nacional de Mexico, and they sold it to a foreign company. So they,
Wow.
but you know what? They bombard you all day long on TV with this and this and this and this, and they, we have two channels, TV Azteca y Televisa. Now people have cable because that's another part, a good part of technology. People now watch other places like Fox and CNN or whatever. But before, all we had was Televisa, all we had was Azteca. So whatever they give these people, because it's free also, like all you need is a little, le ponen la llave así, and then they get the TV, You get your TV and you put a little something and that's it. You got TV. You don't even need to pay for cable or anything. So they keep people entertained. But you know what? People, because of President Trump, are starting to change their mentality. They're starting to open up the way they're opening up to speaking English and learning English on YouTube and everything. They're also they're starting to open up to different points of views, not just like what Televisa would be like the CNN of the US, like I guess, yeah, like the CNN, because it's all towards PRI. So that's why no one imagines that now AMLO is working for Azcárraga. No one in this world would ever think, oh, AMLO, who is against PRI, is now Azcárraga's el achichincle, así le dicen,
Wow.
Well, when in your life would you ever think this guy is working for him? So now it makes you realize, okay, why was AMLO alborotando el gallinero en Plaza Olvera, Why was he out there? Why was he out there rallying against President Trump? Why was he in New York majorly rallying against President Trump? Why? Because he wanted Hillary Clinton to win so that Azcárraga could buy Univision, and in 10 years, the United States of America be controlled by Azcárraga, Univision, and the corrupt Mexican cartel, basically,
Let me say something.
And AMLO are best friends.
Raymond Herrera, and I had a conversation with him the other day too. He says that in Mexico, there is leaders, professionals, intellectuals, professors that are waiting for a change. So Mexico is waiting for a breakthrough. And I hope that they use Donald Trump's momentum to do that.
Yeah.
And now, going back to what you were saying, Mexico knows how to exploit anything. Now, did you see the elotero, that Argentinian that knocked over that elotero guy?
Oh, yeah, I did. I saw that, yeah.
Okay, well, El Piolín, Progreso Legal, and all the Spanish media, they're out there taking advantage of that.
Uh-huh.
Le regalaron 1,000 elotes. I mean, they're like just, they say that they were going to represent him legally, a bunch of lawyers, the Progreso Legal. So they're just capitalizing on that. And I don't like that.
No, of course not. And you know what the funny part is? Not funny, but you know what I post a lot of pictures. I think you see them. Did you see the pictures I posted last week about Valle de Bravo and how clean it is? We don't have one piece of trash, like not even one piece of trash. It's completely clean, because that's what Mexico, a lot of parts in Mexico, especially important places like Valle de Bravo, are starting to do, Marco. They're cleaning up the streets. They're cleaning up the trash. They're cleaning up anything like, I hate to say, because I'm a dog lover, but they're cleaning up the stray dogs. They're cleaning it up because we are starting to become better. So why? So here's the thing: why, if they're not allowing street vendors in Mexico, what makes them think it's okay for them to go and destroy LA? Because that's what they're doing, destroying Los Angeles with their freaking trash. Like I sent you pictures, I think, of MacArthur Park. It's one, like the trash is like up to here, like piles and piles and piles of trash, and that's the effect. The eloteros, people selling food out of a freaking grocery they stole from like Ralph's or from Vaughn's or whatever, one of those places. So look at videos of what Mexican police do to street vendors. They do the exact same thing, but it's okay because because in Mexico they're just trying to clean up. So okay, so it's okay for Mexico to go after the street vendors in a really aggressive, violent way, because it's violent. It's not just, you know, it's not just, oh, get off the street. No, 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 no. They will go after them violently. But it's not okay in the U.S. where they're not even legal, where that stuff, you know, that is so Mexican. You know, we can't come into another country, Marco, and impose. That's what you've been talking about since the beginning. We are imposing our own culture. Like, I don't see anything wrong with having tacos el gordo in Vegas. They have huge, huge tacos el gordo on the strip. But you know what, though? Those people are paying $20,000 of rent a month, electricity, insurance, taxes. And I'm sure they're not paying all the taxes they should because they're Mexican. So I'm sure they're finding a way around it, you know, because that's how we are. But what I'm saying is, at least they're, you know, but having taco trucks where you are shutting businesses down, where you are, you know, you are changing a country's structure and economy, you know. So that's and that's what we would become a freaking problem, you know. That's when we become a problem. I saw the tacos el gordo and I'm like, wow. I mean, I never paid attention to it before. Now I did, because I saw it when I actually, we were talking about it yesterday. And they have them here in Tijuana. They have a bunch of them here in Tijuana. The original is here in Tijuana. I think they have, I don't know, they haven't, but I saw it in Vegas. But at least, you know, it's closer to the American culture. But when you have taco trucks where, you know, there was a business in East LA that I used to love. I've been going there for years. It was a Mexican-owned business, you know, like Mexican, like from old-time Mexican, you know, on Soto and Whittier. It was a really awesome, like, you know, whole corner. They sell burritos and hot and pancakes in the morning and juice and all this stuff. They had to shut down. You know, they had to shut down. They couldn't keep up with the taco trucks anymore. You know, they shut down after 50 years, Marco. So imagine you go doing that in different parts, and you're going to automatically bring down the U.S. economy. And you know, and the worst part of it is that the money from the taco trucks, I can guarantee you, a lot of it is not staying in.
It's cash, yeah.
It's cash. It's a cash, but it's not staying in the U.S. That's why Salinas Pliego, who is the owner of Electra, you know, who gets all the money? Who gets all the, you know, ¿quién recibe las regalías? Who gets all the money coming in from Mexico? Electra does. Western Union, Electra. You know, from all those billions of dollars, because it's billions that are coming in every year, he's getting a kickback off of it, you know? So that's why they're all against Trump. That's why they're all for illegal immigration. Go, go, go. Go make your money. Make money, make money, make money, and send it back, you know? Send it back. So, you know, it's like.
So illegals are like their business.
Yeah.
Illegals are their workers.
Yeah, instead of making Mexico work, we have, okay, so right there we have San Diego, beautiful place, right? San Diego, amazing, beautiful. Why, if we have the same weather, same beaches, same vegetation, same everything, why can't Tijuana look like San Diego? It's not the land that Naui's fighting for. You see, this is what I told them. I said, it's not the land, Naui, because, you know, we got a bunch of land right here. You want it? You can have it. Look, I'm going to show you. There's a lot of land. If you want it, it's right there, honey. Like, if you're fighting for land, the land is right there, you know? You could buy it really cheap. You know, I could buy that entire mountain for like $200,000 without a problem. So it's not the land they're fighting for. They're fighting for the government, Marco. They're fighting for a government that they don't even understand. They're fighting for what, not the government, but they're fighting for what a country that doesn't belong to them is offering them, but at the same time, they want to disrespect that country and turn it into what they don't like, which is this. Do you understand? Like, I told them, I said, he said nothing else. He didn't even reply. He had no argument. This is why I get mad at these guys fighting so viciously and violently against Naui, because all you have to do is kind of like you know, I understand that it's fun and it creates this big thing, but if you really just sit him down and say, really, if it's the land that you want, then why don't you, you know, there's a bunch of land right here. Here, I'll buy you a lot for $10,000. No, he wants the welfare. He wants the infrastructure. He wants the benefits. He wants it all. And that is not part of Mexico. It's not the land. Oh, this land belongs to the indigenous and all this bullshit that he doesn't even buy it himself, you know? And so he sent me a voice message. I don't know if you saw that. He said, oh, eres una vendida, blah, blah, blah. You hate your own people. I was like, dude, now, first of all, you know, did you know that now he doesn't even speak Spanish? He doesn't even speak Spanish. I tried talking to him in Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish. Like, I thought he was like Mexicans, like backing up, you know. I was like, háblame en español, puto. Like, seriously, I'm in Mexico. And he would not. He only speaks like a little bit of Spanish. And that's what people don't realize. He's just a character out there. He's just trying to make a name for himself, you know. He says he's sticking up for people. He is un payaso. He's just a clown, you know. So, but here's the thing though. If you fight him back with facts, if you fight him back with, oh really? So why doesn't Tijuana look like San Diego? Why don't Tijuana beaches look like like Coronado? You know, why doesn't playas de Tijuana look like, you know, even Imperial Beach, which is really not that pretty, but I'm just saying, like, something like that, you know. Why? Because you guys are freaking, like, you know, because you are dirty, because, you know, it's only in certain places that where the government, for their own purpose, for their own benefit, like in Valle de Bravo, where they're making it, because it's kind of like Mexico's face, you know. But if they did that and did all of Mexico, Mexico would be a great place. But what does that take? It takes work. It takes, you know, it takes them from, instead of focusing like Duarte, who put Veracruz in bankruptcy at its, like, the worst ever financial situation for Veracruz. Instead of focusing on his $900 million ranch in Valle de Bravo, you know, he would have to work. These people don't like to work. Look at President Trump. He's been working since day one. He was sworn in on a Friday, okay? Saturday, he was already working. He didn't even wait for the next business day. He wasn't even out like celebrating on, oh, I just became president and I'm just gonna take the weekend off. No, I mean, yeah, after that he's gone golfing a bunch of times or whatever, but as soon as he became president, Saturday morning, he was already working. So,
you know,
yeah.
well, all I can say, just to wrap it up here, is that you are so amazing to be able to be in Mexico and talk about this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to talk about it here, you know, but hey, you hold the voice of truth and reason, and that's what works. Because you are really an example. You're a beacon, even for the Mexicans that hate Trump, because they were proud of you that you were up here at the inauguration.
And you know, but more than just being proud, Marco, I think it also inspires them, because we, in third world countries, we have a very a sheep mentality. We go where we think it's safe. You know, we go where it's safe, where everybody else goes, where it's convenient. And I didn't. I was in Valle de Bravo fighting people, and not just through the internet, not just like, you know, keyboard fighting. No. I was out there, and people, because I was out there July 2016. So, you know, 4 months before the election. At that point, even though deep inside we knew he was going to win, you, me, you know, whatever, the only reason when I thought he wasn't going to win was, and this is when I contacted you crying because I was really depressed, was when what was it called? The All Access Hollywood tapes came out, or Access Hollywood.
Yeah.
So that's the only part. Because when I heard him, I was like, ouch, you know? And that's when I contacted you. I was like, what can I do? I want to, like, anything I can do, you know? But before that, I think that, like, hardcore Trump supporters, we knew he was going to win. But July 2016, I spent a whole month in Mexico. Physically, verbally, like I got into a huge argument at the airport in Mexico City with a professor because he was looking at a book by Jorge Ramos, something about Trump being a clown. And we got into this huge debate at the Mexico City airport at the waiting area with like 150 people watching. Everybody that was about to get on the plane was watching.
Wow. Did you film it?
I'll tag you on my post. People were like literally like this. They were like, everybody was watching us and we were going back and forth, back and forth. He was a professor from a major university in Mexico. He ended up walking away. He couldn't keep up because I was like, we just kept going back and forth, back and forth. And finally, like the thing that made him walk away was like, I told him, you know, what I always say to people, basically like, okay, so I'm going to break into your house in the middle of the night and I'm going to be pregnant. And just because I'm pregnant, you can't, you know, now I'm going to stay there and I'm going to give birth and I'm going to have, and now you're going to have to support my children. Like, and that's where you get them. When you start using examples, using them as the victim, like the U.S. is a victim, you know?
Hold on, my assistant is wanting something here. That's my wife taking my wallet. It's normal stuff.
Say hi to Jennifer for me.
Paloma says hi. She says, take care of yourself.
Tell her thank you.
Okay, so Paloma, let's just wrap this up. So you're coming. Mario's calling me. So you're gonna be at MOAR. When are you coming back?
So I'm going to Mexico City this week. Another corruption case I'm fighting because really it's all corruption. So I'm going to be in Mexico for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Then I'm going to come back to California and Vegas for September 14th and 15th. And I got to find a flight. I don't care what airline it is. I normally only fly Virgin America, but I got to fly whatever flight I can get out of Vegas at like 2 or 3 in the morning on September 15th, so I can make it to Baltimore by like 10 o'clock that morning. But I'm gonna do it. I really want to go to MOAR. I'll be drunk a little bit, but you know.
We have Berkeley on the 27, 26, and 27.
Where is that?
Berkeley and San Francisco.
Oh, okay. I may make it to that. I should be gone for about 2 to 3 weeks, so I may be back before that. Hopefully I will be.
Okay, Paloma, take care of yourself.
I show up in MOAR with a big Mexican sombrero, you know, and my sign that says I'm Mexican and I love Trump, because it'll be Mexicans Independence Day. It's Mexican Independence Day. So I'm going to show up with my big sombrero and my sign. Mexicans love Trump.
You know what? I think Trump is going to help Mexico more than any president out there. He's helping everybody around him.
Yeah, and like I said, I think he already is, Marco. He's already inspiring people, and he's making people realize that you don't have to be afraid anymore. Because people are afraid. Look at what happened to the 43 students. They got killed for speaking their minds, you know? But people are an example of people like me that I'm not afraid. Because you have to be careful, but you can't be afraid anymore. I'm gonna run for politics in Mexico. You'll see. Trust me, I got the passion, I got the knowledge. I'm in Mexico, you know, but we'll see where this goes. You'll see.
Take care of yourself.
Okay, bye, Marco.
Ciao. There you have it, guys. Paloma, she is, I believe she has dual citizen. So she is a Mexican national, but she's American. And she's most American, but she is representing us in Mexico. And trying to win the hearts and minds. Let me see if this works. Robert, I'm going to try to invite you now. Raymond. Raymond, just put accept on your phone. Johnny V. What's up, Johnny V?
Raymond, just put accept on your phone. Wow, for some reason, it's not working. Let me try again. So that's Paloma, guys. She's gonna be at MOAR. That's Gabriel. Invite Raymond. Can't invite this guest. Okay, Raymond, sorry I can't invite you for some reason, but I put a phone number there. You can call me. Paloma. What's up, guys? It doesn't show accept. Raymond, I'm gonna invite you again, and just make sure you have your phone sideways. What's up, Gabriel?
How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going. So you're going tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to go.
I still have to get permission from my wife, but I'm going.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. A lot of people are going. A lot of people that we see at all these rallies over here in California. We're gonna see everybody over there, from what I'm hearing.
That's great. So David's going. We're all going from this side, right?
Yeah. Will's going. A lot of people are going. A lot of people that went to Portland with us, they're going.
So Gabriel, how do you feel? I know that. How do you feel about this merit proposal, this immigration merit thing?
I think it's very reasonable. I mean, personally, I'm probably, I want to, more strict standards. It's probably not enough for me personally, but I feel that it's very reasonable.
I was talking to somebody that told me, was asking me how I came here and my parents and all that, and that I really feel that a lot of people do not appreciate the opportunity to be American. And when Reagan gave amnesty in the 80s, there was a lot of people that were eligible and they didn't even feel like applying, like just paying, I don't know, it was like 80, 90 bucks to fill out an application. They didn't feel it was necessary. A lot of people have the 1-year permit and they didn't have the passion to commit themselves to be American. I think that's what it is. And I think that we're reacting to that. We're saying, hey, the ones that we have given the opportunity to be here, they're not appreciating it. Why should we keep doing this? Or what do you think?
I think that there's, it's hard to tell what the numbers on that are, but, what I found is a lot of people that, a lot of immigrants that come here, they appreciate it a lot, and because they have a contrast that a lot of people that come from third world countries and stuff like that, they appreciate and they understand that the freedom that we have in America, and they love America and they assimilate, excellent. And then, I don't know what the numbers are, how many don't feel that way and how many do, but the immigrants that I know, they are really appreciative of America and they understand the difference between, whatever country they come from and America. And so, you know, a lot of times to me, a lot of Americans that are born here are kind of spoiled and they don't really appreciate it. They don't have any contrast. They've never really been outside of America and they don't understand the beauty of America. And so, you know, like for instance, one of our friends that goes to these events with us, she was telling us about how when she was a young kid and she was in, I think it was like Czechoslovakia or something like that, and how they had to get this socialist country, they had to get vouchers to get food, waited up all night long, and to get some bananas, and it was their turn, and her grandmother had to tell her that they were out and that she couldn't have any. And so, you know, from coming here the correct way and you know, and assimilating into America, she really appreciates America. She's a patriot and she loves it here. So I hear stories like that, and you know, that's the kind of attitude I think that you need to have when you come here as an immigrant and appreciate America. Because why would you come here if you don't like it here? You know, why would you come here and want to make it like the place that you come from? The point of coming here is to, you know, appreciate that you're allowed to even come here and be part of this.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I was telling this kids earlier today. It's like, you know, when I came here, everything was already set up. Why am I gonna want to reinvent the wheel and change your rules? I mean, you already have the rules of the game. Why? I'm invited here. You know, this is not. It's not for me to tell you, oh, now you should do things this way. It's just it doesn't make sense to me. And so, what do you think about this DACA, kids? Because I really think that Donald Trump, that's one of the biggest challenges for Donald Trump. And I think that's really going to put a lot of things in perspective for a lot of people, because a lot of the activists, I think they're doing more harm to the DACA recipients than good by doing all this, you know, this impeachment march and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, the problem with it is that, you know, anything that has to do with immigration lately is just misconstrued. They're drawing lines between like immigration and illegal immigration. They're not actually drawing lines. They're actually merging the two and generalizing the message. And so that's kind of where all this what's behind all of it. You know, instead of talking about the demographic within the immigrants that Donald Trump was talking about, instead of talking about the illegal immigrants, they want to extrapolate it to all immigrants, and they just want to cause any kind of backlash they can against Donald Trump. And so that's, you know, it brings out, and in every movement, you're going to have people that are more extreme than others, you know? So so it just brings out a whole different slew of demographics. But generally, I think that all the animosity and stuff comes from the left and the mainstream media, how they portrayed the policies. And just like what we have with the transgender policy in the military, it was, you know, it was this way all the way up until June of last year, and Donald Trump just pushed it back to what it was. And then there's a huge deal because it's whatever narrative the media is trying to push to cause unrest, you know, and that's, you know, that's kind of where all this animosity and this division comes from.
But don't you think that people should see that that's very destructive, that is not constructed at all? I mean, we are being our own enemies by doing that.
Yeah, we definitely are divisive.
Rather than helping Donald Trump to progress as society, as a country, you know? It's like me fighting with my wife every day. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna get anywhere by fighting there, you know? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think that you're right. You're 100% correct. It's totally destructive, and it's that's why, like, I posted a while back and got an amazing response on it. And I asked people, I said, do you think that mainstream media is a threat to America? Because what it's doing is it's causing division and civil unrest, and we're headed towards a place where we're all divided and separated into all these different groups. And you know, that's not good for America. What we want to do is have a strong, you know, national pride and work together as a team. Any team that's divided they don't win. Like you see a team in the NFL and they're fighting and there's a lot of problems in the locker room. They're not doing excellent. And you see a team that's unified and, you know, that's whenever they're going to head to the championship, you know, like they're doing well. They're running well-oiled machine. A car, it has to have all the working parts that work together to make the car run properly and get where you need to go. And if there's one part that's not running, it causes issues and it's not going to run it like it's supposed to.
Well, you played the drums, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you don't go to a gig, what will happen, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you play drums your own way, you know, it's just there to find balance and harmony. We have to be united, you know. Just you would think they would see it that way.
Yeah, well, because I think that what it is kind of like the Hegelian dialect, you know. It's they cause all these problems and then they present their solution, and what they're pushing is they're pushing like a one world like image, one gender. It's all based around you know, profit and globalism. And so if you think about it like a business, whenever you have a bunch of different types of demographics, it makes it harder, because if you put out a product to one demographic, you might be turning off another demographic. And so they're using the globalists are trying to basically erase our identities and our cultures and make like one world culture, one world identity, and make us all interchangeable. And so we're all individuals, and when we're not just connected together, we are easily dismissed and we're easily defeated, you know, when we're all divided. And so I don't know, it's just you can see it whenever you see it. That's why you see the non-government organizations and you see the corporations. They control both sides, the Republican and the Democratic Party. There's a lot of if you look at the funding, it goes to both sides. And I think that's kind of why we're seeing a lot of backlash to Trump too, is because he's coming in there and disrupting, you know, what they had going on. They had a control for a long time. And so now you're seeing anything he does. We've never before witnessed in the history any president deal with the fight from the mainstream media and within, you know, like the Department of Defense and all that, you know, deep state. We've never witnessed any president have to deal with this kind of drama.
You know, a while back, when we were in the election process and I saw all this opposition and violent opposition, you know that the current Mexican president, Peña Nieto, he's almost out. He's going to be out on 2018. It's a 6-year presidency. He almost spent the whole, since he came in office, with opposition. I mean, so much that they burned the door of the National Palace when he was in Europe. So I'm starting to see this left wingers starting to do that. They're starting to burn things, you know, even symbolically. They're burning they're burning their house. I think I told Alex Jones that my dad told me that some people will burn their house just to see yours catch on fire.
Wow.
And I'm seeing that. These guys would rather see this country burn than concede and work together with us.
Yeah. If you see during like the inauguration, they broke out windows at banks and, you know, in businesses and burned businesses, and there was all kinds of violence and vandalism. Violence is, you know, becoming the norm for the left. And I think it always has been for a long time. And we'll see. You're going to the San Francisco event on the 26th?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the 26th and the 27th, we will see what happens. And, you know, we'll see. Because last time we were there in Berkeley, they were burning stuff, throwing garbage in the street and burning it. And we were putting it out and cleaning up the street, you know. And so it's basically what you said, literally. They're burning the place down because it's their way or no way, you know.
I'm worried about San Francisco because San Francisco, you have I don't know, that's a different animal. I think I don't know what it can either go really good or it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, well, it's on federal property. Like, you know, when we were in Portland, So I'm hoping, you know, I kind of think that maybe that it's gonna be it's not gonna be as bad as like Berkeley was. I'm thinking that we've learned a lot from all the events that we've been to over the last year, and the police and them guys have been scrutinized. So I think that that's why we have seen a lot of the protests and rallies go be nonviolent. The only violence is between the police and, you know, Antifa. So let's hope that happens. You know.
All right. So looking forward to see you on the 26th then. So how is everything else? How can people reach you, or what are you up to right now?
Me, I've been up to just basically, you know, I took a little short vacation, hiked up Mount Lassen with the family, and I've come back into town, and I'm getting in, you know, trying to get everybody hyped up on getting Senator Pan out of office. I'm helping Janine DeRose. You can find out more about her at DeRoseforsenate.com.
Okay.
She's District 6, and just like Omar's running, Janine's running, you know, we have to rally around these candidates. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm trying to push that message, you know, that look, these candidates have a lot of money. The ones that we're going against have a lot of money because they're backed by corporations. But any candidate that's going to represent us, we're going to have to fund them. We're going to have to volunteer and canvass, and we're going to have to get out there and help them and get involved. That's the only way we're going to get representation. If we don't get, you know, if we don't get out there and help these candidates that represent us, they won't be able to get in office. And whenever they do get in office, we have to back them up because it's going to be hard for them to get things done with it so corrupt and so taken over right now. You know, like, you know, I go to these hearings at the Capitol and I'm testifying and stuff like that. And I sit on these committees and they're just ridiculous. You know, they're one-sided. Like, you'll have like one Republican on the whole committee, and, you know, they already basically made up their mind in the back rooms, and they already talked about it before they even came out. And so I've been involved in politics for a while, so now I understand how it works. And I think it's all, you know, it's all for show. It's just ridiculous, you know. So it's time to get these people out of office, get our real people in office. And by to do that, we're going to have to volunteer for their campaigns. We're going to have to walk the precinct, you know, we're going to have to walk the district. We're going to have to talk to people, and we're going to have to get signs in our front yards, and we're going to have to donate money. It's just the only way it's going to happen, unfortunately. So it takes work, but anything, you know, anything worth anything takes sacrifice. So we're going to have to sacrifice.
Well, count me in. Whenever you have another hearing there, I'll join you.
Okay, yeah, but we'll say that we have this one coming up. I believe it's on the 21st. It's a Senator Pan Senate bill, and it's a home visitation bill. And so that's what they're trying to do right now. We already defeated the Assembly home visitation bill. Now this is a Senate bill. And so we're trying to keep government out of people's homes. And so I think it's important. I'll send you the information, invite you, and I'll share the event so that we can start getting a bunch of people to these hearings. If we have a long line of people outside the whole hearing room, all wrapped around through the Capitol, and we start showing a bunch of unrest and a bunch of opposition to these heinous bills, these ridiculous, tyrannical, oppressive bills, I think that's what we need to have. That's where these rallies need to start occurring. They need to start occurring like inside the Capitol at these hearings. I think that'll be huge.
All right. Right on.
Yep.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's been great. Thanks for having me on. I didn't know that you can actually do this. Pretty cool.
This is great. And then people get to weigh in what they think. Let's see. There's a few people here. They're saying you're speaking the truth. Amen. Yeah. Awesome. So thank you, Gabriel. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Good luck later. Okay, guys. So there you have it. Let's see. Is Raymond still here? Let me see. Where's Raymond at? Okay. I cannot invite Raymond. I think he left already. Genevieve. Gabriel is actually in Sacramento.
So yeah, he's in California. So guys, please say hi to Genevieve Peters. I'm gonna try to be there on the 11th, Genevieve. I don't know, but my son will be there for sure. What can I say? Thank you for watching this. I am so grateful, guys, to be part of this experience and this movement that we have created. I am. You know, yesterday somebody told me that I was a rock star, and I really don't think of myself that way, but wow, it's just so amazing that there's people out there that that think of you that way. So I think I'm just a regular person, and I want you to think that you can do exactly what I'm doing and more. Just grab the phone and turn it on and make love to the world. I really wanna thank you guys. I mean, it's really amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, I encourage you guys to support all the people that are in this movement, because it gets lonely sometimes for some of us. And you know, please support Harim, support John Rodriguez, Robert Herrera, Raymond, all of us. You know, a word of encouragement goes a long way. Share their videos, share everyone's videos out there. I know some people are fighting from inside. Let's not put our energy on that. Let's take the good and leave the rest. Gabriel says we have to support each other. Yes. And you know what, guys? People are going to make mistakes. Please do not take it, do not try to define people for a mistake they made. Try not to block each other, because then if you block each other, it's worse, because then you have to unblock that person anyway. Because we're going to see each other around. Roger Lopez, he says he's a proud bandido. Genevieve says we cannot afford to end fight. Yeah, we can't. There's so many liberals to fight with, guys. Why do we have to fight inside? Cindy, what's up? Says no blocking patriots, make amends and forgive. Yeah, absolutely. Unless you don't have room anymore. But I think there's always room for a friend. And there's always time for a coffee with a patriot. Yeah, it takes all of us. It takes all of us to get to the other side, guys. Yes, we have too much to accomplish. Amen to that, Genevieve. And I see so much talent out there, guys. You know, I have learned so much in this movement and supporting Trump. I wouldn't change this for anything in the world. Trust me, I've learned from you guys. All of you guys, if I say something wrong, you guys send something back, a message or a comment, and that teaches me. Estamos unidos, we are united. Genevieve, we can always find our common ground to love. Yes, amen to that. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing this with me.
Raymond Herrera, I'm sorry that this hasn't worked 2 times, but I think we're getting close. I'll call you and then we'll set up something, because when you called, I didn't get the call. So Michael, Darwin, thank you so much. Happy Friday, everyone. Nalisha, I got your message about MOAR. I'll see what we can do. It's going to be a great event. Mary, thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Have a good day. Your phone or so, guys, I have Paloma here with me today, and she is all the way in Tijuana. She's in Mexico right now. And so we're going to talk about the immigration. Oh, you just did? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Hola, chica.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Paloma.
Hold on, let me turn the volume because I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of loud. It's kind of soft. Like, I don't know. I can barely hear you. I should have my headphones. I don't. I'm sorry.
You know, everybody was complaining about not hearing me earlier.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. You know what? I could hear you when you were doing the video by yourself, but now that I'm on, I can barely hear you. So I had no problem before. Hi, Daniel.
That's your phone then.
No, I can hear you a little bit better now. A little bit.
Okay. So you're gonna go to MOAR, right?
Yes, but here's what I'm doing. I always celebrate Mexico's Independence Weekend in Vegas. It's a very Mexican thing to do. You froze. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So every year for the past 10 years, I've celebrated Mexico's Independence Day in Las Vegas because it's one of the safest and nicest places to celebrate Mexico's independence, believe it or not. You know, it's safe, it's nice, they do a lot of events. And I mean, you know how very Mexican I am. So it's very, like, it's a tradition for us to celebrate in Vegas, which is on the 15th. So I think I'm going to have to fly out that same night to Baltimore to make it to MOAR the next day. So, but yeah, I'm going to go. I'll sleep on the plane. I'll be okay.
You're something else, Paloma. You were in
I'll
Vegas.
sleep on the plane. I'll be fine. I promise you.
You were in Vegas yesterday. Now you're in Tijuana. Then you're in Mexico.
I'm flying to Mexico City on Tuesday. So
how is Mexico reacting to this merit-based proposal, this bill?
Well, believe it or not, President Trump's support approval rating in Mexico is going up. And illegal is that they don't have to cross the border. They don't have to run across the border. They don't have to swim across the border. You know, they don't have to go in somebody's trunk. But it does, just because they're doing it with a tourist visa in their hand doesn't mean they can stay in America and do whatever they want and take advantage of the country, because that's where the population control problem is coming from. You understand? Like, it's all about respect that people have lost for America. People have no respect anymore. Like, I've been seeing it for years. 4 years ago, and I talked about this on my videos yesterday. 4 years ago, I reported a woman who lived in Miami for years, making fun of the U.S. government, making fun of the Mexican government, because she makes fun of them too, making fun of everybody. Like, they, you know, it's just, it's becoming like one country for them. There's no division, there's no borders, there's no respect, like there used to be. I remember when I was young, we used to travel to California all the time, like once a year, twice a year. And as soon as we crossed the border, we had to go and apply. We have to reapply for a permit. So we had to provide, you know, and back then we had visas that were on our passport. I remember they were called like permanent visas. They would just do a stamp. My passport, you know, I was like really young. I was a baby because that's when I first got my passport. And I had a visa that it didn't have an expiration date, indefinida. That's what they used to call it, indefinida. So, but even so, you still had to apply for a permit. You had to tell them where you were going, okay, where you were going, where you were going to stay, who you were going to stay with, names, phone numbers, purpose of the trip, how long you were going to stay, like everything, every detailed information. And before you exited the United States, you had to make sure you gave that permit back. And if you were flying out of, you know, or you were flying, you would they'd have a little box at the airport, and you have to put your permit in there to make sure to let INS know that you were leaving the country. And we, you know, that it's been lost for the past, I don't know, 20 years. We don't even have that anymore. People come in, they do whatever they want, and it's not just the illegals. And people think, oh, it's just illegal immigration. No, legal immigration is such a big problem, especially, you know, I don't know from other countries, but I know that legal immigration here from Mexico, it's a big problem. So,
you know, I was talking to one of my critics in Mexico, and he told me that Donald Trump, it's going to be the cause of the second Mexican independence.
Yeah. Yep.
So Donald Trump is making Mexico great again.
I agree. 100%.
And I think all these people are going to, if he wants people that know English, that have a something to contribute, I think people are going to take school more seriously in Mexico, because a lot of kids stop going to school when they're out of high school, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to motivate Mexican citizens to study more if they want to be part of this country.
Yeah, not only that, but it's also about respect, Marco. They have no respect anymore. I'm telling you, like, between what's happened with the borders over the past 10 years, between, you know, the technology, because technology is good and bad. A lot of Mexican kids now speak English. They watch videos all day long, like YouTube and channels, whatever, you know. So they speak English now. They didn't used to speak English 10 years ago. They, you know, one of my employees that I just hired, and then I had to fire her because, but whatever. Then I had to fire her. But anyway, so 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, if I said like squirt, you know, they'd be like, what? Like every little word was like a big deal to them. This employee that I just hired 6 months ago, she's 19. She speaks English, Marco. She didn't even go to school to speak English. This is all that they're getting it through through Facebook, through YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram. You know, they're following people like the Kardashians. So these people are starting to speak English. So I don't think the language part is such a big part, like such a big deal. But what it is, though, what I have noticed is that because they think they speak English, they feel like they're American, and they're not American, because there's a big difference, huge difference between speaking English and being American. And that's the one part that people don't get, you know. And it's a big difference between being in the U.S., living in the U.S., working in the U.S., you know, making a life in the U.S., and understanding the American culture. And this is what we've been talking about when it comes to constitutional sound bites with David Stokas. Like, people don't have any idea of what America means, what being an American means, what the American culture means, what the Declaration of Independence, what the Bill of Rights, what, you know, they have no idea about any of it. So you know, the naturalization test that I took when I became a citizen, it was so easy, Marco. I'm sure you took it too. It was so easy. It's so easy. Like, they used to make it so easy for anyone to just come into the States and feel like they're an American. And so eventually what's going to happen is the American culture is we're going to lose that. We're going to lose America because people don't even understand what it's about. They think it's just like a playground, you know, they have no idea. It's just a place for them to make money, live a better life, send the money back to their country, send it back to Mexico, build a house in Mexico. And that's what they think America is. And it's not. You know, there's the reason why America works, the reason why America has always been such an amazing, great country is because of the way it was founded, because of the people who founded it. So we, in order to understand how the country works, we have to understand all that. And the government was making it so easy.
What's up, guys? Let me fix this. Hold on. Yes, right there. What's up, guys? My name is Marco. I am I'm an American citizen. So let me see. Marta Peña, what's up? Christine, what's up? Rob, what's up? Jose, hey, so great to see you, Jose. I haven't spoken to you for a while, but thank you for sending me that La Reflexión del Día. Hey, Jennifer, I saw you did a video yesterday. Johnny, Tommy, what's up? What's up, brother? Just defending the American dream. Hey, Paloma. Dana, what's up? Good afternoon. Estela from Houston. Same here, Tommy. You the man, bro. You the man. Yeah. I haven't actually got my flight yet, but I'm getting together with David, a bunch of the guys that are coming from this side, so we can go there at the same time. That's gonna be a great event, man. That's looking forward to meeting you too. Nikki, oh, Nick, Ryan, what's up? Daryl, Alexa. So what's up? What's up? What's up? Paloma, I can't invite you. Can you switch?
I'll tell you a quick story. Last week, I ran into a friend that deleted me from Facebook. And I realized that he deleted me from Facebook, but I didn't know why. I don't really have a lot of people who delete me, but I noticed I tried to tag him on something, on a video from like 6 months ago, and he was gone. And I ran into him, and he goes, he didn't say anything about me, about deleting me, but he asked me, he goes, can I ask you why you support Donald Trump? He goes, I just need to understand. I just want to know. I want to understand why you support him. He goes, because from my point of view, he's so racist and all this stuff, right? He goes, but I know you're a good person. So if you weren't a good person, you wouldn't support him. And I know you love Mexico because you're here. So it's not like you're against the country. You're not against Mexico. So I spent about 10 minutes, Marco. That's all it took. About 5 to 10 minutes explaining why, and explaining exactly like the corruption in Washington, the corruption in the system, and what was happening to America, America turning into a third world country, and people taking advantage of it. And if, you know, somebody like President Trump didn't do anything, it was going to turn into a place like Mexico. And after that, he was like, oh my God, like I totally changed his perception of President Trump. You understand? Like he had this like bad idea of him, of me, of everything. And in 5 to 10 minutes, I changed everything. So a lot of people in Mexico are starting to react that way. They're starting to see that he's not a bad person, that he's not a racist, he's not going to destroy Mexico like they told us back, you know, a year ago. Oh, if Donald Trump wins Mexico, it's going to be war between Mexico and the U.S. and it's going to be the end of Mexico, and he's going to come in here and take over our country. All this stuff, like they were putting, you know, weird ideas in people's heads. And so now with this immigration, merit-based immigration thing, I think a lot of people are going to hate it, because I've been seeing for years, and this is what I've been talking about for the past 2 days. I personally know, Marco, people that take advantage of the system in such an obvious, awful way. They give them a visa, they give them a tourist visa, and they feel recently, it didn't used to be like this, that with that visa they could do anything they want, anything. Like it just, you know, to them it's not even a tourist visa anymore. Entering the country automatically means you could do whatever you want, and that's not what these visas are intended for. These visas are intended so that, you know, you get your visa, you go on vacation, you go shopping, you go to the mall, you go to Disneyland, you know, whatever, Miami, Dallas, Dallas, Miami, California are the most popular places, New York. And a lot of these people, Marco, are staying. They're staying here. And as soon as they get across the border, they get a place to live. They start having kids. They go and get jobs, you know, because why not? Illegals do it. They can do it too. So, you know, they don't, the only difference between them and